Hey there, guys. How you going? With Melody Memory on its way and Kingdom Hearts in general being in a very mysterious time plot-wise and gameplay-wise right now, I thought I'd interview some of my favorite creators and see what they think about the series so far, what they think will happen in the future, and everything in between. So today, for my first little one of these, I'm joined by Aeba from her channel, Absolutely Everything About. Aeba, do you want to tell people sort of a little introduction about yourself and what the channel's all about?
Yeah, hi, I'm Aeba, which is shorthand for absolutely everything about. But you needed some consonants in there, so uh, I think it's a cute little name. But yeah, my channel is I take I they say when you're creating content that you kind of have to create the content that you like to see.
Mm-hmm.
And what I enjoy the most are like very like video essay, very like media criticisms, kind of looking through like the lenses of interpreting media in different ways. So that's kind of what I have modeled my channel after. Like, if you know, like one of my biggest inspirations throughout like my entire life has been Lindsay Ellis. So like I am absolutely a knockoff of her. Um, and I do know that she knows about Kingdom Hearts. So Lindsay, I'm waiting for that content. Please give it to me.
Do that crossover
But in the
episode one day.
meantime, yeah. No, not even close. But yeah, so that's what I got going on. I have my little video essays that I do. I love my girls. I'm very obsessed with Kairi, and I love I love talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, thank you so much. And yeah, that's sort of what drew me to your content and made it stand out straight away. It's just like I really appreciate that style as well of like that nicely scripted content that really drives home a point and shows the passion straight away without not the rambling's a bad thing or anything, but I really gravitate towards that. Like, okay, I have a thing that I want to say. I'm gonna not waste your time, and I'm just gonna say it. So yeah, I really like really like your content, and I thought
Oh,
yeah, I just want to get your read on a few things. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard of the channel before,
yeah.
by all means, please be free to check it out in the description and go hit that subscription button because yeah, we want to support creators that are doing good work. So yeah,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
but yeah, I thought a good time to start this would be because I think we're what a month plus a couple weeks out from Melody of Memory already, which this year has gone
Yeah.
by. This year has gone by.
Crazy. Uh,
So
yeah.
yeah, I just sort of want to get your read on it and get a lot of people's reads on it in terms of like I don't know, are you looking forward to it? Like as if this is the fabled Kairi game, is this sort of what you might have liked for her, or would you
Oh,
have wanted something different? Or I guess what's your read on it in general?
oh, oh yeah. I am absolutely 100% excited for it. I aside from all the Kyrie stuff, I think it's just like uh, a cool concept for a Kingdom Hearts game to like change up the combat style a little bit. And like Kingdom Hearts has always been like very experimental with like the gameplay that it's had. I mean, the exact second installment in the series messed with card battles, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
um, I think this is a very logical next step in their experimentation with gameplay styles, and rhythm games are fun. Um, and I I am crossing my fingers that this isn't the Kyrie game, but along with Remind, it is a second step to Kyrie's big moment.
Right.
Um, very much setup, very much teeing us off to uh, that big slam of oh boy, her character has arrived, you guys.
It's been 20 years in the
Yeah.
oven, but it's here. We finally got the full Kari experience.
Exactly.
So do you think that's
Finally getting into that. Sorry.
no, go.
Finally getting into that backstory that we saw in the first scene of the series.
That's right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's Sora's
Yeah.
questioning of like, what was your island like, and the implication that he's asked dozens of times before, but she just doesn't remember. So, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
finally get to scratch that itch, I guess, and see what it's all been about.
Yeah.
So do you think like,
Well, and it's my interpretation it's my interpretation that because she always like says I don't know anything, and the camera work, if you notice during that scene, it doesn't ever
It
show her
doesn't show her
face.
face at the same time. That's right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and if a camera doesn't show a person's face or any part of a person's face, then that means that they're probably not telling the truth.
Yes. Yep.
So it's always been my interpretation that she does remember something about her old world,
Right.
but what she remembers about it isn't good. Like
No.
it's very traumatic.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to ever talk about it.
Sort of. If I just kind of repress that and keep it down, then I just won't ever have to think about
Yeah,
it and
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it. Yeah. It doesn't. It's not real at that point. If I can just. Oh yeah, one day I was just on this island and that's all I remember. So cool.
Yeah.
Which means I guess she was adopted by
So
some
I
Destiny Islands parent group at some point, and then we just.
Yeah, I mean in that one like non-voice scene when Sora and Riku were talking about the secret place and
Yep.
how there was like a monster, but it was just the wind.
Hmm.
They said that she stayed at the mayor's house. So I
Yes.
feel like people have interpreted that that was her adopted family, the mayor.
Which I can see that making sense. Yeah. I mean that's about the only
Yeah.
context they've given, or the only explanation they've given to us. But not that parents really mean too much in the
Yeah.
series anyway,
No.
because we're not supposed to think about it.
Yeah, except for that one scene, right as the islands fell to darkness.
Sora,
Yeah.
get your dinner come. Yeah, is Sora's mom and mind that he's been missing for a year? Like, is anyone bothered to be like, hey, we're gonna go to sleep for a year to try and find your son? Don't worry about
Don't worry about it. I think that's just one of those things where Nomura's like, all right, guys, you just gotta roll with me. Let's suspend our disbelief
it. Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. It's the least of our worries, I'm sure. So, do you think
Yeah.
like you said, like Remind, she got, I guess, a good taste of. I mean, that gameplay was fantastic. It's probably some of the most fun, like that Keyblade
Oh,
combo you can do, where you like throw the Keyblade out and then instantly teleport to it. It's like, holy smokes, that's really fun.
uh,
uh,
gorgeous, amazing, spectacular, show-stopping.
so, would
You
you want to
know.
see that evolve into like a full blown 100% Kairi experience at one point, like gameplay?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely. I um want to play as Kairi so bad. Um just because she's just the character I think actually in just like any piece of media ever that I've connected with the most. Um Definitely the one that I've obsessed over the most, but uh personally when I like play games, it feels very I guess affirming to like play as female characters just because like I feel at home,
Absolutely.
being a woman.
Absolutely.
So like the fact that not a lot of games give you that option even is especially the kind of games that like I like to play, which are uh mostly Kingdom Hearts. So
Right.
um I and so I mean, that's what I'm always looking for is to, at baseline, just play more female characters, and if my dreams come true, play as Kairi all the time.
Just a full blown Kairi experience, start to finish. No silly side characters. Just
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So I guess, I mean, obviously we've. Oh, well, I guess I should ask you then. So what was your first introduction to the Kingdom Hearts series? Like, when did you first find out about it? Get your first chance to play it?
So like back when it was first released, my cousins got really into it. Oh, I'm getting a call from work. Did that mess up? Okay, I think that's fine.
No, no. Would you want to
Anyway,
pause?
okay. Oh no no no! It's just like my app messes up and like
Gotcha.
rings at inappropriate times. Cause whatever. Anyway. Um, so yes, so my cousins got really into it, and they sent us a copy for Christmas.
Oh,
So
cool.
I don't know. I guess that was Christmas 2002 or something like that. Whenever it was released in America, and you know, get all your jokes out now. We got the same thing of like, oh, well, why is Donald Duck here? What's the giant key?
Right.
What's with these giant mutated ants? And because we were kids, and Kingdom Hearts 1 is kind of hard when you're like a kid and you like just barely like know how to read. so and they don't really tell you where to go. We never got much past like the very beginning of Traverse Town,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and we just got so frustrated that we put it down, and like just stayed in our gaming drawer for years.
Yeah.
And then and I'm gonna expose myself right now as a fake fan. I haven't been a fan of Kingdom Hearts for the full 18 years. I've only been a fan for 13.
Well, thanks for watching,
Oh,
guys. Let's.
pathetic.
I'm just gonna cancel the call. Right?
So yeah, and I remember this very vividly because it was in the summer before um, my eighth grade, so summer of 2007, and I was just bored, and I popped it in, I played it, and just completely fell in love with it, and
Yep.
it's dominated my mind ever since.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. So I guess where I was going with that is like, obviously you fell in love with that first game, and
Yeah.
did it become any more special when you finally got the chance to play as like Aqua, for example, in Birth by Sleep, where it's like, oh, okay, like
Oh,
it's been so
absolutely.
many years now, but I can finally play as like a female character in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mentioned this, and like it's kind of like you have to like pause and read the text on screen, but it was in my nominate video
Yep.
where I just like I spent like I swear to goodness, like her first like playable section is in the Castle of Dreams, right in that
Yep.
front hallway part,
Yep.
and I swear to goodness, I spent like a full half hour just like, oh my God, I get to play a girl. I get to play a girl. I soaked in all of her movement, all of her like combos. I just sat there like pushing the buttons just in awe of female form that I get to play in a video game.
No, that's really special. I mean, I guess like I should correct myself. I guess you got to play as like Shion and Luxu in the multiplayer of days, so that like it doesn't really count in
Yeah.
terms of like having a full blown
That,
like
it,
proper experience of this characters and the
yeah.
cutscenes, and it's a full fleshed out story based around her. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, that's
not as
really special.
crunchy.
That's really special. Like, and I guess it's something I take
Yeah.
for granted, where it's like, all right, I'm gonna play. Let's look. I mean, if I look to my left right now and see my video games, I see. uh,
Yeah.
let's say there's 10 games up here. There's Tomb Raider, Horizon Zero Dawn,
Hmm.
and Burnout, where you don't literally play as a white guy straight away. Of the no 20 games, I guess. God, maybe I should get better at that. But um,
Yeah.
I'm looking like Spider-Man, like 4 Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
games, Wolfenstein, just like all the games I see right now. It's like, so I just go, what do I want to play today? Do I want to play Uncharted? Do I want to play Wolfenstein? And it's like, it's just something I completely take for granted of like, everyone looks like me all the
Yeah.
time. Like, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so God, yeah, it must be such a. I even like I remember playing Birth by Sleep and thinking like, it is kind of cool that, you know, it's not like they look very
Mhm.
visually different or anything, but you just get an option of the characters you want to play as, and you get that one slow
Oh
chunky
yeah.
dude, you get the tiny little, very fast guy, and then Aqua, who
Yeah.
by the end becomes this like stupidly powerful mage, and you get like all these really fun spells to use, and
Oh my God.
the dodge roll and the
Yeah.
best block in the game, which like obviously Riku then uses
Oh,
for the rest of the
absolutely.
series. And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, it was just I don't know, it's just like I really appreciate Birth by Sleep for taking that chance of trying to tell 3 stories at once from a gameplay and story point of view and going, I don't know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was way more special for you going like, yay, finally, god damn it, finally.
Exactly. And I don't think it's all of that bias where when I say that like Aqua is like leagues funner to play as the other two. Like um like especially like her block, I think, and like her timing is a lot better than Terra's.
Uh-huh.
Forgive him, he's very slow.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. You have to take off some of Terra's abilities, or else it's just a nightmare to play. Like that double dash thing that he does,
yeah.
and then you just sit there for 3 seconds afterwards, going, "Come on, I need to move, please." Yeah,
Oh, bless him.
yeah. He does his
Yeah.
best.
Uh, yeah, and Terra's one of those that like I feel like I've gone through a whole arc with. Like I was not impressed with him at all for so many years, and then like as with anything, can you hear my dog barking in the
I
background?
can, but it's cute. That's fine.
Okay. He's one of those little dogs, so he will never stop.
Gotcha.
Yes, and it's only really like as with most things with the Kingdom Hearts series, a lot of the times the fandom like gets me to come around on characters
Right.
because like the whole himbofication of Terra has done so much to to help me like him. It's like it opened up my eyes like, oh, he's stupid and that's the
That's
point.
part of the charm.
Duh. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I get that
Yeah.
he's a big dum dum, but like I don't know. I always try and read it as if like do these characters literally have they never left their home before, and therefore they assume like, oh, the only other person I've met in my life is Ericus, and he's a nice guy, so they're like therefore
Yeah.
everyone's probably worth trusting in this universe, even if they are an evil witch that's saying I'm going to make the darkness inside you do bad things, and he goes, what? No, what?
Oh my,
No, that's not true. I better unlock this door for you
oh
though.
my gosh. Oh, and yeah, what I will defend Terra for forever, is that like it's not a bad thing to be trusting of people, and like who knows in the context of the universe if like Maleficent really does have the connotations of looking like a devil, maybe that's just how people look in this world, he says to himself,
Right.
and like you're supposed and the only difference between like Sora and Terra is that Terra just has like such supremely bad luck that the first person that he encounters
Yeah.
in every single world just
It happens
happens
to
to
be the
be the
villain.
villain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If Sora didn't rock up, literally landing on like Mickey Mouse's lap or every single happy Disney character, I think things would have gone a bit differently
Yeah.
for him. He still would have done
Oh,
bad things for him.
absolutely.
I mean, he unlocks the Colosseum for Hades in 2 after already fighting for him
Yeah.
for 1.5 games. He's like, well, better do what you say then. All right, here I go. It's like, Sora never gets a
Yep.
bad rap for that. So, no, it's just funny how the fandom sort of treats different
Yeah.
characters, but.
Yeah. I mean, don't I know?
I
I'm a Kairi stan.
was about to say that, yeah, smooth segue straight into, I guess, yeah, like it's the topic of Kairi. Like,
Yeah.
we've had X amount of games. How many games are there now? Like, proper experiences, probably 1, 2, 10 members didn't really count. And a
Yeah.
tiny little glimpse in 0.2 and full blown in 3, but I guess the end of Birth by Sleep as
Yeah.
well. Like, what,
Oh
what's
yeah.
the evolution
And
been like? Oh, yeah, go. Sorry.
somebody who I can't remember who it was. No, it was Prodigy CD.
Hmm.
He literally like counted all of the seconds that Kairi was on screen.
Really?
And yeah, and before Remind, I don't know what Remind added, but like Kairi in the entirety of the series has only been on screen for about 30 minutes.
Wow. Wow.
And that
Nearly
like
20
and
years.
like people want to yeah, exactly. Over I don't know how much is the and it was crazy like just how and like people are just in general and specifically with Kairi, people are very ungenerous when it comes to female characters. Like just because something isn't shown on screen, they will automatically take the most pessimistic interpretation of her character and like, oh, it is um especially like at this current time when like so many people are like huge Yozora fanboys and Yozora has been on screen for exactly 2 minutes
Right.
and they like want to say that he's a more in-depth character than Kairi or like Naminé
It comes off
and
quite
you're like
hypocritical when you're like, hang on a minute.
excuse me.
Especially before Remind, right? Like, I was seeing tweets about, like, just
Oh yeah.
Yozora. And at that point, he'd been on the Verum trailer and 8 seconds at the end of the secret ending of 3. And
Yeah.
you're like, hang on.
So yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think he hadn't even
So
spoken a word yet
I
at that point. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, go on.
yeah. Yeah, no, we didn't even know Dylan Sprouse was there.
You're right.
Is there like a battle between like the Sprouse twins? Because we absolutely win over Riverdale. I'll just say that.
Is that right? I get the better version of him. See, I never had the Disney Channel growing up, so
Yeah.
I kind of like I knew of the
Oh,
that show, Sweet Life, is it? Um,
yes, of Zach and Cody.
right, but I definitely was like, oh, okay, that's because is he a singer as well? I literally heard him on the radio the other day. I think he's like promoting. It was might have been a movie or a song or something. Must have been a movie. Must have been.
Is it, I it must have been because I haven't heard anything about music from him or
Yeah,
either of them.
must have been a movie. It was on. It was
Yeah.
on those like pop radio stations, and it was like coming up next, Dylan
Okay.
Sprouse, and I was like, what? I know
He's
him. I know him. Ask him about Yozora. Ask him about Yozora.
yeah.
Who
Is
in this new video
Yuzuru
game?
gonna be in
Kingdom of
Melody of
Hearts
Memory?
3, yeah.
Ooh.
Makes me throw up
Love
every time.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do see a lot of like just stomping on Kairi every single time. Like, I mean, Remind definitely softened the blow, I guess, but before that,
Mhm.
I never will understand why people go after a character for what the writer chooses to do with them. It's like, it's somehow a fault of the
Oh yeah.
character if the writer
Well,
says, okay, in this scene, Terranort obliterates every single person, and we all just stand here doing nothing about it. And it's like, Kairi did
yeah.
nothing the whole game, blah, blah, but it's like,
But nobody did.
but yeah, it was like Sora's time to shine the entire game. Like he single-handedly wiped
Yeah.
the floor with all 13 of the bad guys,
Yeah.
and then told everyone
And
else to
that
take a rest. It's like, what?
and that is I hate to kind of sound like a double record, but that is kind of just like the double standard of sexism. Like it I think I'm going to talk about it in an
Hmm.
upcoming video for a different property and a different female character, but it is very much a trend that when it comes to like poor writing choices, um, like because it's a bad writing choice to have a character make a passive decision, like to have actions happen to them and for to not have them make progressive choices themselves, autonomous choices. Um, uh, no, progressive is the right word there. Um, uh, maybe I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it too much.
Or like active at least, or
But
like rather than
yes,
just being
so
passive to the whatever's happening to them.
yes, so like it would be a poor writing choice to say Xemnas kidnaps Kairi right now, because that's not Kairi making a decision there. That is something that is happening to her. But a female character will still get blamed for things happening to them that they do not have the autonomous decision to make.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on that, like, if the Mora says, okay, I need Kairi to be kidnapped, would
Yeah.
I think the way it happened in 3 just seems so hollow, given that we've literally spent however many hours with all these characters at this point. Like, because
Yeah.
who's in that scene? We played as Roxas before. We played as Shion before in the multiplayer. We've played as Lee as well in the multiplayer. We fought against them all multiple
Yeah.
times. We've seen that Kairi's been off training the entire time, and again, we've played as Sora for 1,000 hours at this point. And the idea that
Yeah.
when Xemnas goes, okay, I'm going to push the kidnap Kairi button now, he can just do that, and everyone has to stand around and watch, and no one fights back about it.
Yeah.
Kairi isn't able to get out of it. Like even if the end goal is I have to have her be kidnapped, and that's the writing choice I've made, I have to have that happen. Do we at least not want to
Yeah.
see like he outsmarts our characters? He figures out some way of doing it, so it doesn't just seem like all our characters are dum dums
Yeah.
and just let this happen. With
Yeah.
like
And
again,
we
especially it's
yeah.
so worse being in a video game. It's like we controlled this guy minutes ago to perform all these like we can slow down time, we can do all these actions per second, we can heal ourselves, guard ourselves, do all this stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like easier to accept in a movie or a TV show or even a book where you're like, okay, like the writing says it's got to happen and they're sort of justifying it, but when all that power is stripped away from you in a video game, it stings that
Mhm.
much more, I guess. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think if you want to get to the point of especially with a female character who has had like a problem with agency before,
Hmm.
like you want to kind of take them through like a hero's kind of journey where like they've shown off their stuff, they've shown that they're capable, but they are just like beaten down or overpowered or outsmarted in like some way that seems unfair because the villain is doing it.
Right.
And that's really the only way to kind of like remedy, okay, I want to kidnap or kill a female character right now. Treat them as if they are their own threat to the villain
Right.
and not just some like little trinket to dangle in front of the male hero so they can cry some male tears.
And go on their revenge quest to fuel that. Yeah.
Yeah, pathetic.
So Remind, I guess we're talking about the Kairi cat kidnap scene. Remind did a little bit where they
Yeah.
gave her something to do right before the kidnapping. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It
It
just
was definitely better. I mean, it would have just been better to like not have written that kidnap scene in the first place
sure
and like find another way to like honestly and truly though, I am very disappointed with the
the entire
entirety of the
ending.
Keyblade
Yeah,
Graveyard.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I definitely,
Yeah.
especially in the context of like the entire game is built, like looking back on it a year and a half later now, going like, I mean,
Yeah.
isolated, it wasn't great, but even if you think at the time, we spent all the entire game getting to this moment, it's finally going to happen. And then
Yeah.
it was hard, especially as a game
And
release, it was hard not to feel hollow at that moment, going, ah, it wasn't
oh,
quite.
absolutely. And like the Keyblade War was like hyped up
Hmm.
so much, like it's the Keyblade War, the Keyblade War, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel like a war one because it was just Sora doing everything,
Yeah.
and it was and I feel, and this is where I get the most frustrated with the Nomura because like you absolutely did not plan this out. I know you didn't because you built up to like a little fizzle. Um, so like and like you should have if you were going to like build it up in like Dream Drop, you should have had at least just like a basic outline of what was going to happen in the War and make it big at the time of publishing Dream Drop. You should have had that in place years ago.
Yeah. There's a cutscene that I watched in 3D, and it's the final one where all the organization is like reforming on the floor, and young Xehanort's there
Yeah.
talking to Zigbar, or I guess, Luxu now. And he sort of
Mhm.
says, like, which one are we going to take? And I think I rewatched it later, and I was, I sort of, in my mind, convinced myself that the entire organization was there, and they were only going to pick one of them, because they already had 13 vessels
Mhm.
in mind. But they go, okay, we're just going to
Yeah.
pick, and you can assume that they said Sykes. Um, in my
Mhm.
mind, he already had a different organization planned out, because, like, there's 13 people, like, appear in 3D. And it's like, what's the point of keeping their identities all secret if you're going to use basically the exact same cast anyway, minus like 3 members?
Yeah.
It's like, why even go through the rigmarole of like, oh, secret identities when, like, it's the same characters, like, and are we really to expect that, like,
Yeah.
in that final ending scene where all 13 of them are sitting around the thrones, only Sykes reacts? Like, no one else, Malusha doesn't try and help, Luxu just sits there and watches, like, no one else tries to stop Sora and that resisting. They all just sit there and go, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine, whatever. I mean,
Oh,
maybe there's
well.
like time magic
Mhm.
involved, whatever, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, part of
And
me goes
also
like,
like
yeah, go on.
like the background people too, like the benched people, Demix and Vexen.
Hmm.
Like wait, why do we have a bunch of if this was so like destined, why do you have like extra people?
Yeah, how can you fully plan everything out, but then also have spares? The two
Yeah.
ideas don't. And even the idea of making
Mm.
Sora your 13th, it's like, this is going to happen. He's going to be the 13th. Beautiful. Oh, wait, never mind. We don't need to worry about that. We can,
Yeah.
I guess in that case, you had 3 spares. Or I guess you wouldn't have had Xion. You would have just had Sora. And
Yeah, and that's 3 spares too with Xion.
yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of
For,
very good sense.
for me, the biggest sin is the whole like idea of 7 versus 13, and then when we defeated darkness, a dark portal shoots up into the air, and I guess that forms a Keyblade off screen, which we see at the end, and we go, "Hey, what? What? We're making Keyblades now
Yeah.
from Clash? What?" And so the Keyblade itself was made
Oh
of
yeah.
only 13 dark Keyblades, not 20 total pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They didn't establish any rules.
No. So yeah,
They just,
part of me wonders if there was a juggling act of going, okay, well, we want to give Sora a goodbye to each of these characters, because some of the conversations seem to set up further events anyway. Like Lorium, I always go back to thinking that he's basically setting up. Sorry, Malusha's death
yes.
is like, oh, I have memories now, and you'll find out more about those in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, available on your iPhone and Android devices. And, like
exactly.
there's a lot of work being done to set up, I guess, the future of the series. So you need to have that little goodbye, which, I mean, I guess in the context of the fight doesn't really make sense either, because what, does everyone just stand still and wait while we say our goodbyes? But
yeah,
I don't know.
but yeah,
You can sort of go.
I like saying goodbye though.
I did too. I think it was a really sweet moment, especially like Xemnas and Ansem that are like finally going, all right.
I do.
It's weird.
I want them to come back so much. Like, I don't want them to do anything. I just want them to like open up a bakery in Radiant Garden and just live their happy lives. Get
like an odd couple
and
scenario.
That's what
like
they do.
Xemnas is super neat and Ansem's really messy, and like, oh, you.
Exactly. Yeah.
We got a Kickstarter going for the animated series of Xemnas and Ansem's bakery going.
That's what the Disney Plus show will be about.
That's what it's all about. All right, we got it. And then they're like competing with Remy's Bistro next door. They're like trying to get more customers coming in. All right, pitch it. It's gold.
Yeah. Okay, here's my elevator pitch. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, we got completely sidetracked. I was like going to go back to what we were talking about, and I had no idea anymore. Malusha dying.
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Are
no,
we
I was
talking
saying.
about...
Well, I was just saying, like I wonder if he had so many things conflicting for that final Keyblade Graveyard moment, going like, all right, I want Sora to say goodbye to everyone. I want there to be this really fleshed out fights for each of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. In my head, a Keyblade War it's a 7 versus 13 brawl. Like, it's a full on. There's 20 characters on screen simultaneously. But I wonder, like, if just the limitations of the hardware mean that just won't be possible, or like how that.
There was like a big rumor going around that there would be 7 people available in your party, and we're like, oh, of course, 7. So that means that all the 7 Guardians of Light will be together, like fighting people.
Right.
But then that just, I guess that was another one of those, like, because what was like a rumor at the same time that it was like there would be like 50 hours of gameplay or something that turned out to be just a straight up lie.
I think at the time I sort of was trying to keep my head in the sand. I must have missed all of those, but I'm sure there were like rumors flying like wild at the time.
Yeah. Or maybe it was just people like wishfully thinking.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think even I was guilty of doing that, going, boy, I hope we get to see X, Y, and Z happening. I mean, to be fair, like, we got a lot of cool moments. Like, the whole Terra Van Aqua reunion part was, like...
Oh, absolutely.
Just spectacular.
Like, there were definitely bright and shining moments, like the Sea Salt trio reuniting, the Wayfinder trio reuniting, the Keys of the Past. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
But, like, you can tell that those were definitely like the only bullet points that they had planned out, and they just like didn't know
how to connect those dots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's sort of where whenever I go like, oh, it would have been really cool if X, Y, and Z. It's like, could you have had could you have had the Wayfinder trio reuniting in the middle of a huge 7v13 brawl? Could you have had moments like this just happening? And I guess the answer is a maybe, but
yeah.
The moments that we got were like really, really amazing. And the triple Xehanort fight, like it all leading up to that moment, the music swells, you get those like beautiful tings of each 3 of those characters' themes. I wouldn't trade that for almost anything. Like, that's such a fun fight. Especially in like after the 1.09 update with the new abilities and stuff. It's really, really, really fun.
Oh yeah.
So I'm always on the seesaw of going like, yeah, man, it could have been And again, it's like, me sitting here a year and a half later, like I haven't thought of a better way, a more eloquent way elegant way they could have done that. So it's really easy to be like, well, they should have done this, but
yeah. Do you want to know something a tiny bit embarrassing though?
Please.
I did like a full rewrite like a year ago. And I've been like wanting to make it a video for a
You absolutely should. You absolutely should. No, it'd be really interesting to see.
I do want to make it soon. I just like I need like a couple things here and there. Like I want to like move cutscenes to a different location, and I saw that like the 13th vessel was able to do that with some kind of modding. So like I need to like kind of figure out a way to do that for the video of that.
Yeah, well I can ask him if you like. I'll pass your information along if you want to have a chat to him.
That would be like really nice, but like I think that's a video that's also like a little bit down the line.
Yeah,
probably
for sure,
at least after like Melody of Memory releases. For sure.
But in your rewrite, I assume like Kairi and Shion and Aqua will be kidnapped, right? Like just to really drive.
Just drive home the point that women suck.
Exactly. Come on. We all know. I can't even keep up the bit. Sorry. Yeah. So I guess Kairi has that tiny little moment in Remind where she like breaks Xemnas's like attack, and we all go yay for 5 seconds, and then he just goes nah and shoots a bunch of
and I understand that they were under the constraints of that they couldn't like actually change anything that happened.
Yeah.
So they had to go right back to her getting kidnapped, but it didn't really soften the blow as much.
Yeah. Yeah, I always come back to that whole like gameplay dissonance thing of going like we're about to beat the heck out of him in a minute in his data version, like with all the tricks in the book that he's going to throw at us. I don't know. It's like how Sora is so confident against Xehanort, even though it's the same Xehanort that just whipped, just defeated every single Guardian simultaneously in his from his point of view a minute ago. And now Sora's like, I can take you easy. And he's like laughing at him like, ha, idiot. And it's like, what? Like, oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Video gamey stuff.
Yeah. It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Melody Memory, I'm really looking forward to just, like what you said. Like, I really kind of get a kick out of rhythm games, especially for a soundtrack that I, at this point, know so well.
Yeah.
And I think just, God, like, we're blessed in this series to have some of the best music in the entire industry, and just to have effectively a playable version of the soundtrack is like, yeah, sign me up. 100% sign me up.
Exactly. And, like, I am so bad at, like, knowing what the names of the tracks are. I'm just like, oh, the da-da-da-da one.
Right.
So I feel like this will
Under the Sea, I think is what you're thinking of there. It's
so good of just like, all right, test me, daddy. I'm drilling the name into my head.
Right. Yeah, and I guess we're going to get Kairi either, I'm not sure if it's either right before she goes to sleep or right after she wakes up, or a combination of the two, or while she's dreaming, most likely.
I'm hoping that it's right before she goes to sleep. Because, like, I feel like the way that Riku just like walked in, kind of like was isn't a little would be a little disappointing if it was like, oh, it's Riku, who we know has like a very big thing about like Sora and Kairi are like his most important people, and so for Kairi to have been in a coma where he was like not able to see or talk to her for like a whole year, and he's just like, hey, how's it going, good morning, that just is very out of character for him.
For sure. No, to me that cutscene we've seen in the trailer is like they've maybe scanned her once or twice, scanned her memories and gone, okay, well, this didn't work, what next? And then, hey, what if you put me to sleep and I don't know, do something different? I don't know. And then Riku goes off and fights, plays video games.
I want the drama. Give me like the tears of like, I don't know if this is the right decision, but if it breaks him back, that's what I need to do, Riku.
Yeah, there should be some element of
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a sacrifice for her that I don't know how long I have to go to sleep
Yeah.
for, but it's worth it, you know, like he would do it for me, so blah 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 blah. Because I
Yeah.
mean, the character moments are some of the most memorable in the entire series, and we definitely want to get some more of
Yeah.
those, and I'm
Yeah.
sure we will. I'm
It
sure.
is that is my like theory of like with on long ongoing series is like this, it's not like the pieces of like lore or like the story. It's really the characters that keep the series alive because that's what you're connecting to time and time again over the course of this long stretching narrative. So the characters really have to be like on top of their characterization and personalities and interactions and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like even leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3, my first thought wasn't going to be like, I wonder how it's going to play, and I mean, it came to mind, of course, but I was like, oh man, all right, we're
Yeah.
gonna finally rescue. Yeah, we're gonna finally rescue Aqua and Ven and Terra, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
they're gonna be a happy little neat group together again. They're all gonna be best of buds. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. I'm telling Nomura, that's the draw.
And I think we do get like I'm sure he does understand that like the ending on
Yeah.
the
I'm
beach and everything, and we finally get all our
yeah,
little
I'm
happy
sure.
friends in one place playing frisbee together. It's like
Yeah.
it's goofy,
I
but
hope
you love it.
Oh, it's so heartwarming.
I guess like what's your read on just Kairi being put to sleep in the first place? Like if I
Mhm.
was going like, all right, I'm on an adventure to save Sora, like, okay, well if he can go to the final world, maybe I can too. But then the writing is like, and then she went to sleep, and that was her contribution to trying to save him. Like, I think we
Yeah.
probably will go to the final world at some point in the
Mhm.
game. Um,
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I feel like my initial gut reaction was like, oh no, it's another passive choice because sleeping is a passive choice.
yes,
But I guess that's like looking at it from the outside. On the inside, she's still, like going through memories. I and this is of course assuming that like the meta is that even though we're playing as like a memory Sora, it's Kairi playing as the memory Sora,
right.
right?
Because if she's been along for the well,
So,
she was along for the ride at least for the. Oops, I lost you.
oh,
Hey,
back.
you back? Yep.
Whoops.
Nomura's Green Squad came for you. They're like, all right, that's too many opinions. Shut it down.
Snipe them out of the call. Snipe them. But yeah, I think she looking at it from the inside, she is proactively looking for ways to help. Yes, she's asleep on the outside, but inside she's doing a lot. So I think that I I think it'll be a get good, but again, I'm fairly certain it is just more setup for Kyrie's big arc,
Okay.
which should be happening soon, right?
I mean, one would hope so. I almost wonder if
Yeah.
this is like our departure from the characters we all know. Like
Ugh.
we've sent Terraven and Aqua off to the realm of darkness, and one would hope we get to at least see what they're up to in that amount of time. But
Yeah.
we may not even see them in this entire game.
Oof.
Same for
Yeah.
Shion Aqua and Shion Axel and Roxas. Like, what are they doing? They're searching memories or
Yeah.
something. They're searching
Yeah.
or data.
Memories as
I forget what
well.
they're doing.
I think I don't are they going into like the data Twilight Town and that's how they're doing memories and as nominated they're helping them do memory stuff?
I would hope so, and that would make the
That
most sense to me. That
yeah. Otherwise she just lists like not doing anything because
right
that's the fate of someone who's not connected to a trio.
because
Oh
nominate.
no.
Yeah, this you just sit on the bench and wait for your time to summon Lingering Will, and then you go back to sleep.
Twiddling your thumbs. Oof. Yeah.
And then they've got like Mickey, Donald,
Um
and Goofy searching around. And so, okay, they say they're searching past worlds that Sora has been to.
yeah.
I kind of
So that
wonder.
has to be like yeah.
Well, yeah, go on.
So, yeah, so that includes like everything including every single world like from Kingdom Hearts 1, even ones that like are not built in the Unreal Engine.
Right.
Right.
My
Sorry, that was like a stupid thing to like
no no no
make sure that that was said.
no no not at all. My read on it was potentially that I don't know how much of Union Cross you played,
Mhm.
but there are these like anniversary missions that would pop up in the original key, where Mickey, Donald, and Goofy would
Oh
just
yeah.
rock up and they'd be like, "Hey," and
Oh.
they would seem to have knowledge of like, "Oh, this Keyblade Wielder's here." Part of me was wondering if
Okay.
it was either like Data, Donald, Goofy, and Sora, sorry, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy
Yep.
rocking up,
Mhm.
searching for past worlds, because like the gummy ship crap is scattered across every single world that we've gone to so far. I think except
Mm.
like the new Data ones. So I sort of read it as like, well, what if that's why they're showing up there because they're searching through the data of past worlds and they've accidentally stumbled into Union Cross. Like they
Yeah.
stumbled from Data Agrabah into Data Daybreak Town, like without really meaning to.
That, yeah, that could be it.
So
Cause like
then I don't really know what that gets
that
us.
doesn't.
Like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've connected the dots. What does that mean?
yeah,
I don't know.
it's me trying to connect like an anniversary non-canon mission into like, oh well, what if it's actually this, that, and the
Yeah.
other? It's only suffering
Yeah.
that is down that road. There's no real. It's like half my videos. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, connection here, here, and here, and then I go, okay, well now what? Like, yeah, that's potentially a connection, but
Oh. Oh, this series. Oh, the
definitely,
things it does to people.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Makes me make YouTube channels. That's one thing. It's one of the symptoms. I guess like
I
on
don't. Well, I guess they did add like a huge new section of the cast, like all the Dark Road people, and with all the foretellers, and just Union or Cross, or I never know what to call it. Do you like? Cause do you call it key when you like are including the entirety of like
yeah, I'd say I guess
the
if I'm doing like start to finish kind of the key saga, um,
yeah
but
all the key saga people?
right,
Yeah, I don't want them to though, because I feel like there's so much more for Terra Aqua, Ven, Shion, Axel, Roxas. Like those characters could go like we could keep exploring them into infinity, you know?
yeah,
I
yeah.
hope
I
we
don't know
don't
if
leave them all behind.
yeah, I don't know if Nomura is like maybe bored or at least thinks like, okay, their arc is sort of concluded now. Like they've done their full circle from students to masters, and now
Yeah.
Sora saved them. Now
But that
it's their turn to save him or something.
yeah. But that's like the glory of an arc. As soon as it ends, you
You can
just
start a
start up
new
a
one.
new one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
So,
surprised if at one point we do get to see what they're up to. Um,
yeah.
I guess this is sort of the problem from a writing point of view. It's like now that you've established that all of these guys are super powerful, like
Yeah.
what threatens them if they're all together again? Like if you have effectively what nine ish Guardians of Light,
Mhm.
no, well more than that now. With they're all super strong and they all have their keyblades and blah 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 blah. Like what possible threat could there be that they couldn't all face together? And I guess that's why you have to like separate them off and maybe make it that they can't return.
Yeah.
See, that's why I think like you surely can't write it so that they can't return from the realm. They can't be trapped in the realm of darkness, or else that's just really rehashing
Yeah,
like
no.
old ground. You can't make
Yeah.
Aqua like voluntarily trap herself in there again, especially when she had
Yeah.
like such a visceral reaction to seeing darkness in three. Like
And I
she wouldn't
guess
just be
that
volunteering to jump back in.
it is kind of like so uh so Kingdom Hearts 3 was kind of like the Avengers, and now we're in like phase 2.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, look, phase 2 where we've split everybody off into their individual properties again.
Yes.
Um so and like that was like the biggest criticism of like phase 2, like after the Avengers, when we've established that like Thor can come down whenever he wants,
Mm.
and like Iron Man is like doing all this that. So what makes this threat of like this dark elf who's
In
like such
Thor,
a
yeah,
threat to Thor?
yeah,
Why can't he just like call Iron Man to pop over to England real quick?
right.
You know?
Yeah, they basically had to like establish in each of those Phase Two movies. Oh well, the rest can't come right now because they're on the phone. They're ordering a pizza and they don't
Yeah.
want to. They're in the shower, so we
Yeah.
can't just call out the rest of the gang for this adventure. We have to.
Yeah. And I guess you could also just go like the generic like JRPG route and like just make each next villain so progressively more intimidating until you get to, actual god.
Right. Which I guess,
That's like
like,
the only thing you can do.
and I guess that's what we're looking at in the horizons of the Master of Masters, going like, okay, well, whether he's the next big bad or what have you, it seems like that's what we're building
Yeah,
towards. Um,
I hope so. Yeah. I would like to see him be the villain. Yeah.
yeah, my read on him is that yeah, he's done horrible things for the ultimately greater good.
Child soldiers.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
child sacrifices. Like, yeah, when no, the entire world's gonna blow up. That's
Yeah.
undeniable. You can't stop it. I'm gonna let you think you can stop it, but no,
Yeah.
that's literally part of the
Hmm.
plan.
What do you want the Master of Masters to look like?
I wanted to take off his hood and there to be Sora underneath. No, I'm so sick of that theory. I'm so sick of that theory. Um,
I want Demix.
yeah, exactly. It's gotta be Demix or I'm quitting the series. Snapping my next disc in half. No, I get let down in writing sometimes where it's like there's this grand, uncalculable plan that we couldn't possibly have known about, and everything we've ever done has been all part of this. Like, oh yes, everything was going according to plan. It's all been part of the prophecy the entire time. Yes, it's all going to plan. And then I keep thinking of like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if you played that trilogy, but they're set up in number one
My,
so that you fight this.
yeah.
You come across at the end of the first game the big bads, and they're like, you can't
Hmm.
possibly comprehend our plan. It's so complicated that mere mortals they'll never be able to understand it. And then in
Yeah.
3, it's just like big robots are shooting lasers at everyone, and the ending
Oh,
is
yeah.
just terrible anyway. And it's like, no, I can comprehend that. Like, I can pretty easily wrap my head around what you're trying to do here. You're trying to eradicate all life because of, I guess, slights. I'm not going to say why, but yeah, there's a reason why they're doing it, and it's pretty easy to understand. It's just a flawed reasoning
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I just want the Master of Masters to have a satisfying payoff. Like, I hope Nomura hasn't just written there's a bad guy with an amazing plan and blank blank blank, and then Sora beats him 4 games later. Like, I hope he's like
Oh,
thought of the reason already, and we're building towards that.
yeah.
I don't care how long it takes to get there.
You
I just
mean,
want it to make sense when we get there.
yeah. You mean like how he did with Xehanort?
Who? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, my
Who, like, oh, I plan for every eventuality, except for the eventuality where you lose.
my my take on that is that he thought he was gonna win because of, like, let's say Book of Prophecy shenanigans or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know, and thought that there's no way he could possibly lose. But maybe he read intentionally false information. I don't know. I'm literally trying to justify the writing here, going like yeah, how does this again guy who seems to have planned for every, like, quoted multiple times, you forget I plan for every eventuality. Whoops, the kid
Yeah.
got angry enough to win. Okay, whoopsie daisies.
Yeah.
I guess
What? Fridging didn't work?
I guess like Kingdom Hearts 3 does establish that like
Yeah.
Sora did die, even at the very, very end. Like, we're on the giant
Yeah.
platform, we shoot a laser beam, he goes, "Pfft," knocks it aside, shoots a laser beam back at us, and we did, in fact, die. But just like every other
Yeah.
time in the series when we have died, we just press a button and we can come back to life again. I sort of wonder if that.
Yeah.
I sort of wonder how,
Is
like,
it
how
meta?
canon, exactly, like how canon. Because, okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Like, there is a cutscene right now where, like, we beat the Lingering Will, we beat Yozora. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
beat them on their first try. I don't.
Yeah.
No one beat them on their first try. Like, okay, someone did. Someone
Yeah.
in the comments would be like, actually, Gaming Extraordinaire 99785 actually did beat him on his first try. But, like, you sort of have to have the knowledge of what attacks they're going to do before they use them
Mm-hmm.
so you can block them effectively. It's like, I mean, that's video games in a nutshell, but given
Yeah.
that we've established this, like, power of waking now, and you can sort of go back 2 minutes and change things,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think that every
Mm-hmm.
time Sora dies, like, either his friends or us as the meta player literally bring him back to life.
Yeah.
And especially, like, given
Yeah.
that the Union Cross character is established as being, like, us, like, we are in the story. And we help
Yeah.
Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3 in a way, like, all of us help Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3 to kind of rewrite
Mm-hmm.
time shenanigans. I'm almost wondering, like, did we like Xehanort was meant to win? Even in that second scenario, he still wins. He kills Sora,
Yeah.
but we literally cheat and we just go, nope, rewind 5 seconds. Donald and Goofy help, we beat him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's me kind of like trying to say, excuse the
Oh,
writing
yeah.
for
Yeah.
for its silliness, but I don't know.
No, that's like the same thing. I've like, cause I definitely felt like I feel like I felt the influence of Nier Automata in Kingdom Hearts 3, like especially during like the Light of the Past kind of segment, because that I feel like reminded me a lot of the very last ending when like all
Okay,
the
it's sitting in my download list right now. I just bought it on sale. I'm like, I'll close my ears.
oh
I'll close my ears.
I'm sorry.
I'll close my ears.
No. So it just reminded me of unending of Nier Automata, and that was kind of commenting on the meta of like these characters that we play in video games die over and over, and us the metatextual influencer
Mm-hmm.
like intervenes every single time,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't been able to like these are still like I'm like I feel like oh yes this point and this point I don't know how they connect but they're there,
But there is something
you know,
there.
they're there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, you should absolutely play Automata as soon as possible then.
I would like to. Yeah. It's on my backlog already. Like, well, it's on my
Yes.
list of games to play. That...
And I'm sorry, I didn't like
No.
I
I was just.
I need to
like,
get used to like yeah.
I was just spooked just in case. It's like, oh, I don't think she will, but just in case.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, not at all. Not at all. I almost wonder
Yeah.
if that's where they're going with Yozora. Like, he seems like he's a playable character in his own video game, right? And by extension, has probably never lost a fight. In fact, he says that. He's like, sorry, I don't lose. And from his point of view, he's
Yeah.
probably right. He probably has gone his entire life
Yeah.
and never lost a fight. He's like, yeah, I just win. I win every single time. It's not even a question. And same with Sora. Like, I tried to bring that up in a video where, like, from Sora's point of view, he may have lost against, like, Leon and Cloud, I think, or Cerberus. I don't know. He may have lost against, like, a couple of fights.
Yeah.
But he's pretty much won every single fight he's ever, like, had to win. If it's either do or die, he will always win it, because or else he would be dead and we wouldn't be playing anymore. But
Yeah.
and it's like, what happens if you literally mush two video game characters against each other that both canonically have to win, or else you keep retrying until they do? And I'm kind of wondering if that's
Yeah.
where we're going. That's why, for the first, well, not the first time ever, but one of the first times ever, we have two alternate cutscenes going. These are both
Yeah.
equally valid situations, because, you know, you could, if you
Yeah.
were controlling Zora, you would beat Sora eventually. He'd be extremely difficult as a fight because you'd have access to his entire toolkit. The way that,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much, but yeah, it's,
No. I'm totally there, like with you. I like it's yeah. It's like that's what it is, right? It's got to be like some kind of comment on like the metatextual video game-ness of video games,
yeah.
right?
I feel like it has to be like that's, yeah, I'm sort of thinking like this is
It's
literally
just like
this is like the script I've been struggling with trying to write the Yozora video, trying to get this concept across of like, I think this is what Nomura is trying to do going forward,
yeah.
but then like trying to put that on the paper, I keep drawing the gigantic like T that SpongeBob draws when he's first like in the
Yeah.
in his essay that he has
I
to
mean,
write.
I totally get it. Yeah, I've been sitting here like trying to put the words like through too, but like I just want to like gesture very vaguely to like there they are. You
Yeah.
get it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Oh man. But no, it's always good fun. And then, yeah, and I think I have one thing figured out. And then he goes, "Hey, guess what, idiot? 10 new characters. Check out all these classmates. Check out."
Yeah.
And then I go, "Oh god, all right, what's he up to now?" And you just sort of go, "All right, I'm along for the ride, no matter what."
Gotta go catch up on my Norse mythology. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What's that? I saw a tweet the other day where it's like Kingdom Hearts fans are being forced to be fluent in like English, Japanese, like ancient Latin, and like all these different.
Yeah.
Like, if they want it.
Yeah.
It's so true.
It is. Though I do want to say, if you like really want to like do catch up on your Norse mythology, a great channel that I really like is OSP, Overly Sarcastic Productions.
Uh-huh.
They do have a couple videos on
Norse
Norse
misogyny.
mythology. Exactly. And they do talk about Boulder and um
Odin
he
and
has
the
a
sister.
brother, and
Right. Right.
yeah, something about the connection of like whoever is lost, and like I think we're doing that, right, you guys? We're going to find Boulder or something. So it I think everybody should go watch them.
Yeah, I'll check them in the
One, just
description.
because
Yeah.
yeah, one's because they're a great channel, and two, because we need to know these things. We need to do our research.
What do you mean? I went on Wikipedia for 5 whole minutes and I feel like I'm properly educated now. Come on.
Exactly. Why go to college when you can just watch videos about things all day?
Exactly. That's why I passed my engineering
Yeah.
degree, just YouTubing.
You have a degree in engineering?
An undergrad. I'm still working on the masters, but yeah.
Oh, well, cool. That's so great.
I gave it all away to get my doctorate in Kingdom Hearts, so
Yeah.
still working on that. That's what the real money is.
Yeah. That was like a big thing on Tumblr. Like, what if we all went to Tumblr University and we taught classes in Doctor Who?
Oh God.
Should we talk about the foretellers
I
at
was
all?
gonna
Like,
say,
what
yeah,
they're-
like I feel like I don't want to like lead you too much in questioning of like, what do you think about like Ava and Envy and for the foretellers? Like, I don't want to like put you in a box of like how you feel about only
Oh,
the female
like,
characters, but um,
oh yeah, no. I don't know.
but even the
Yeah,
foretellers in general, I guess where they will be going in the future. Like, are they going to be antagonistic against us, or are they going to be?
I I feel like they are, right? They
If that is them
I
on the chessboard and they're on the opposite side of the board,
yeah,
yeah,
and you would think that's because it's their symbols of all of their animals that they got.
yes,
Yeah. And so and they've got to be just like oh, we're so like we're driven down the wrong path because our master is just, a wild and kooky and evil, and he wants to destroy the world or whatever.
right. Well, I guess from their
Yeah.
point of view, like, did they ever find out that the master was flawed? Like, because Luxu only really revealed it to Ava with like a day before the
Yeah.
war, and then they all went and basically, I guess we assume mutually killed each other, and
Yeah.
or knocked each other unconscious. I guess we don't really know yet, but my read is that they sort of
Yeah.
maybe knocked each other into the final world or something, and or like right as their hearts disappeared, Luxu like snatched them
Yeah.
forward to present day or something, because he would know, like, oh, okay, if
Yeah.
I was there
But
at that
then
time. I don't know.
yeah. But then why are they so calm when they have their little meeting?
Right, right.
They,
Like, did they have a chance to
yeah.
nut it out in the final world? Like, I hate you, but it's said as like angry, but he's a star, so he can't actually do anything. He's like, I'll kill you, Ira, and
Yeah.
just two stars angrily
Like,
yelling
yeah.
at each other.
They gotta just be like, maybe that's like, maybe they were acting like during the Keyblade War, and like, oh, this is part of the Master's plan, and we like have to do our war, but then we have to go, I don't know, get in like our pods or whatever so we can go to the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like,
it's possible.
it's possible. And then hmm.
I just feel like a set
You
is the
okay?
big giveaway of like, sorry, is that to me or?
Oh no, sorry, my dog's having,
This dog, yeah.
one of those twitchy dreams.
Oh man, you got a few dogs, right? I think I saw the.
Oh yeah. I have 6.
Oh wow,
Yep.
that's amazing.
I mean, yeah, kinda, sorta. I got 5 labs and 1 Yorkie.
Wow, must be a handful.
It is.
A pretty cute handful though. That's like,
Yeah.
The best faces.
Oh yes. Do you have pets?
Right now, I just got a cat.
Aw, kitty.
Yeah, she's a little demon.
That's fun.
She's the best, but yeah, little demon.
Aw.
um,
So, yeah.
I had something, but I lost. Oh yeah, yeah. I think Aced is too bad of a liar to
Yeah.
to be like, especially the way that he like berates Luxu at the end. He's like, "What the hell was this all about? Like, what was your role? What were you supposed to do? What were we supposed to do? Like, why isn't Ava here?" I know Gola says that, but I still feel
Yeah.
like they aren't in on the whole. Like he's like, Era's like, "You summoned us back." Like not you summoned
Yeah.
us here, like as we agreed on. It's like why did you bring us back? Like
Hmm.
I don't know if they all went through like a period of confusion together, like kind of reforming into like their own bodies or something. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like they weren't in on it, but they're still like loyal enough to the master that if Luciu's like, "Yep, I brought you all back. Here's the master's keyblade. Look, I'm in control. We need to be able to bring him back.
Yeah.
Something terrible has happened. The worlds have all fallen. I need your help to get everything back to
Yeah.
normal." Um, this
Yeah.
is what he wanted us to do
Trust me, this
next.
is what the master said. Yeah,
Exactly. This is
we need to go
we need to go kill
feed
these.
these children.
Exactly. Yeah. More children need to die for
Yeah.
our cause. It wasn't enough the last time. We need to get.
Oh no.
Part of me thinks like
Yeah.
something stupid will happen. Like they'll show up in Dark Road or something, and like the
Mm.
character assets are already there. They can just be like drop them in, do something terrible to those kids, and pull them back out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dark Road to me is this wild card of like. I think they're going to want
Yeah.
to draw interest towards it, so they're just going to throw like curveball, curveball, curveball after a certain point, just to really
Yeah.
mess with us. Like, Luciu's definitely one of the kids. I refuse to believe that he's not hiding as, like,
Yeah. So he's got to be the one that like doesn't die, right? Or no.
or maybe he
He
does,
could die
and
too.
then, but like,
And yeah.
the vessel dies and he just switches bodies, like,
Yeah.
and yeah. I guess we still don't really
Ugh.
know, like, what happens to the person that he possesses? Are they basically just like forced to watch
Yeah.
through their own eyes as another guy is possessing them for the rest of their entire natural life? It's like that's probably one of the worst parts of the
Yeah.
series to me. Just considering like,
Yeah.
hey, Luciu was caused
Body
untold like suffering through
snatcher.
millennia to all these people now,
Yeah.
and we,
Oh God.
and we just sort of go ha ha ha, angry look, like he made the joke again. Like
Yeah. Do you think Bragg was possessed by Luxu during the events of Birth by Sleep?
that's exactly the
Like,
question.
do we ever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
did he? I was saying to I think Bai the other day, like, yeah, I think he was the entire time, and he was like, well, I don't think he was for their first meeting. I think he was afterwards, because like he has yellow eyes after the first time we see him. So sorry, he has regular eyes initially, and then he has yellow eyes
Hmm.
after he said that connection with Xehanort. And I sort of always read it as like Xehanort's sort of
Yeah.
souped him up with dark powers, but Bai was like, oh well, what if that's the moment Luciu possessed him? So
Yeah.
I guess we don't know exactly the moment that it happened. Um,
Yeah.
to me,
That's the question. That's what I would like for Namor to just like confirm.
yeah. I mean, to me, if Luciu's smart enough to know, okay, I could literally read it either way. Either Luciu's smart enough to go, okay, I'm going to possess a local citizen of this world, and I'm going to, cozy up to Xehanort and try and pretend, oh, that's a really sweet Keyblade you got, bro. Can I have a play with it for half an hour? Like, oh, it looks really cool, man. Or
Yeah.
or he goes, oh, those two already made connection. In the whole like
Yeah.
trying to get Terra plot, I'll just come in and snatch his body, keep pretending that I want the Keyblade, and then I'll just literally, the rest of the series as we know it, I'll just keep sucking up to him.
Yeah.
I guess it
Mm.
really. I guess at the end of the day, does it matter? I guess is what I'm wondering. Like, the outcome I think is the same either way. Either way, a guy called Bragg.
Yeah.
Why do you have to name two characters? Either way, a guy called
Yeah.
Bragg is possessed at some point. Either way, it has to be like right before he gets to. It has to be within like an hour
Yeah.
window. It's either like right before he gets to Xehanort, Radiant Garden, Xehanort gets to Radiant Garden, or right
Mhm.
afterwards. I feel like it's more or less the same.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Mm. That's a tough one.
but I guess like it's theoretically, if Luxu is one of the kids in Dark Road, he might not have to ever switch bodies again. Like he could just age up into being an old man, be like watching Xehanort from the sidelines the entire time and go like, all right, switch. I'll go ahead and grab break now.
Yeah.
I don't know, in which case like they'd have to like introduce an old man character into like Radiant Garden or something. That I don't know. It's all weird.
Yeah.
It's all confusing.
Yeah. Strange. And I feel like there was, I guess it's now, maybe it wasn't ever like confirmed, but I feel like I had it in my mind for a long time that like Union Cross happened 100 years before like Birth by Sleep. But that doesn't make sense at all, I guess, anymore.
That might have been a fan translation at one point, because now that you say that, I think I just flashed back to like Kingdom Hearts Insider forums from like a decade ago, and
Yeah.
I think I had that in my mind as well. But yeah, no, they've made it clear now. It's like long ago in the age of fairy
Millennia.
tales, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what never made sense. It was like, oh, in the age of fairy tales, and I was like, 100 years ago? Like, I'm pretty sure I know what happened in like 1920.
Right.
I wouldn't call that like flapper dresses and the Model T fairy tales. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely yeah.
I mean, it's weird now.
So,
like
yeah.
now, Dark Road's established that any worlds can follow whatever timeline they want to, just at Nomura's whim. So
Oof.
he could literally say that it all
I don't
happened
know.
20 years ago, for all we know. If that, I kind of hate that. I really kind of hate that.
Yeah, right. I would like to just and like all the people that like Sora met
Yep.
are on the same
Yep.
timeline. Like Ariel's like, oh, it's been a year, and like
Yep.
the Radiant Garden people is like, oh, it's been exactly a year.
Aladdin, all the characters, everyone he goes through in Kingdom Hearts 1 and then in 2
Yeah.
must be on that same timeline. Like, but I guess
Yeah.
everyone that he only goes through once can do whatever it wants. Like we're literally
Yeah.
seeing the Queen right now in Wonderland, because Nomura goes, oh, that's a blank check. I can make that whatever I want it to. Time moves
Yeah.
really slowly in that world, conveniently. Isn't that lucky we don't have to make any more character assets or models or anything like that? Haha, lucky me.
Ugh.
And that probably works for Snow White as well, because I guess like Snow White didn't really age up from Birth by Sleep to Kingdom Hearts 1. And
Yeah.
I always read that as, well, her heart got nabbed, so her body didn't age for however long.
Yeah. Except she was like, there's that alternate cutscene if you like play it kind of like
Wonderland's out of order or
out of-
something. Yeah.
yeah, Snow White is introduced, but like that could just be her like pulling her heart out of like some kind of space time or whatever.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all a mess. But you just sort of go, okay. You just try not to think about it, and you go,
All right.
and you just,
I guess I can't debate you on this, Nomura. It's your universe, so
Exactly.
I'll just have to accept it.
exactly, yeah. Part of me thinks they're going to do
Yeah.
a switcheroo and be like, that actually wasn't the rules. You've been in a data world the entire time, but I don't know. I don't know if I can be bothered drinking that particular brand of Kool-Aid. Like, it's too much.
That is a very Nomura thing to do, though. So, sorry, that just tickled me so pink. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like,
I w-
it's just the idea that we're fighting Heartless right now makes no sense
Yeah.
to me. Like, that just seems like complete nonsense. I don't care what explanation he has
Yeah.
for it. 2 games in a row,
And
he's going
their
to be
emblem.
like, yeah, Emblem Heartless, yeah. I don't mind the shadow so much, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But like, of course, like if you fought just shadows all the time, that would get visually uninteresting
All kinds of
very,
boring.
very quick.
For sure.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh well.
Yeah, it's the worst. I like how I mean, obviously COVID had a huge role to play in this, but I guess it's been like 4 months now. We've had probably collective 20 minutes of cutscenes for this game.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I assume, they had bigger plans for it. Oh, well.
Yeah, that's so sad. I wonder, are they like planning to like push back releases for like different Dark Road chapters and Union Cross chapters to like coincide with the release of Melody of Memory?
It's possible. I have a theory that that's what happened
Yeah.
in the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, that we did 4
Yeah.
months of literally just stalling, because I think
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 got delayed by a similar amount of time. And so
Yeah.
on our way to like a really important plot point, our character just literally out of nowhere goes, "Oh, hang on. We need to visit every single world real quick first." And it took literally 4 months for us to wrap around and
Yeah.
come back to the main story. And it's so, it's so frustrating while you're in it going like, "Please, come on, we're dying here. Don't have to wait another 31
Yeah.
days just to be like, guess what, idiot? You're going back to Wonderland." No, please no.
Yeah. But then would but does that mean that Melody of Memory would have come out like a couple months earlier? But if with in a world sans COVID?
I think so. Yeah. If we're to believe
That
that
would be
Kingdom Hearts 2020
crazy.
trailer was meant to come out in April, talking about Melody of Memory and Dark Road back then,
Yeah.
yes, I think Melody of Memory was meant to come out a fair while ago. Wasn't there an interview recently saying that it was meant to come out
Oh, I
quite a
don't
while
know.
earlier? I mean, maybe it was the TGS showcase. I can't remember, but I feel like it was confirmed that, yeah, in a COVID-less world, that would have been out a lot sooner.
That is crazy to me. Can you imagine the turnaround of like
Between
if
reminds
it
to,
like Remind to April to then like I don't know, 4 months later we would have had Remind by now or something. I don't know.
yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, I guess it's a
I was yeah, I'm surprised enough that it's coming out in November of this year.
right.
Like what?
No,
Remind just released at the beginning.
we're definitely eating good as Kingdom Hearts fans in this year.
Oh yeah. Do you think they're gonna try to like keep up this like some kind of a release every year for
I hope so. I
I
mean, we've seen that 2020 schedule, and it showed like two more projects behind Melody of Memory, right? So I feel
yeah.
like, and then plus whatever else was happening underneath. There's that image that's like Remind,
Yeah.
Unicross Dark Road, Melody of Memory, two gaps, and then a bunch of stuff underneath. And so I have no idea what any of that's about. Like, is that the entire
Ugh.
timeline of Phase 2? Like all the games, or is it just other like
Yeah.
concerts and
Are-
soundtrack releases being peppered in there as well? Like who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. And what about phase 3? Are we getting a phase 3?
It sort of implies the existence of a Phase 3, right? If it's like, oh, okay, well, this is
Right?
a multi-phase thing,
Yeah.
and we have to set up
Yeah.
the Master of Masters arc, which is Phase 3, whatever. Like,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole thing potentially.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we're never going to see the end of the series, which is a good thing. I'll happily keep
It's a
playing
good
these
thing.
games. I'll be at 70 going to my GameStop. Well, no, I won't, because they'll be all out of business by then, but I'll be lining up to
Oh,
to get my
yeah.
copy of Kingdom Hearts 85. Sora visits the elderly
Yeah.
home.
Gonna No, but Sora will still be like only in his 30s and will be 75.
He'll be 19 and a half by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone through like 3 voice actors
Yeah.
because Haley Joel Osment is like, I'm retired, guys.
They just like
I can't play a
preemptively
15-year-old anymore.
they preemptively
Yeah.
get in to record every single word in existence. Isn't that like, can't you do that with like those algorithms now? You can like say a certain amount of words, and from that voice samples
Yeah.
you can basically build whatever else you want to.
Yeah.
Just running
I
through
mean,
that machine.
and Vocaloids have been around for forever.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Somebody made like a kind of out of the Japanese voice actor for Sora, they made like a song out of like samples of Sora's voice lines
Oh, really?
in like a Vocaloid type. Yeah. I saw a couple videos about that.
No, if
Um
they're gonna have a villain that's gonna last a few games, maybe just get a couple extra voice lines recorded, just for safety.
mm,
All right.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace Leonard Nimoy and
And Rutger Howard, yeah.
and Rutger Hauer.
And please God,
Can-
Christopher
we
Lloyd,
have
check your
had-
health every single I just be careful, my friend. Like, please,
Yeah.
you can't stand all
I
this.
don't imagine. Yeah. I don't imagine we'd need him again, but like, also Christopher. Can you imagine though, like, how between like both Japanese and
Yep.
English and the 3
Yep.
big English voice actors that we've had, so many like huge like titans of like voice acting and celebrities have like voiced
Master
Master
Xehanort,
Xehanort.
yeah, yeah.
I'm still in awe from even 2010. Like, we got Spock!
Yeah.
Spock!
I was trying to think, like, was that before the big Star Trek resurgence? Like, before that, the 3 J.J. Abrams
Uh,
movies, or was it like just after? I was trying to think.
It was just after.
After the first one, right?
2009 was the
The
first
first reboot
one.
one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they like got him before, like got him to do the recording before he was back in vogue again and really popular and really expensive again. They're like, all right, he's locked in now. Now he's got to do this in at least 3D.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, so actually, the reboot series of Star Trek actually got me like really into Star Trek. So I like, and there's like that stupid like kind of fan thing like of for some reason people want to pit Star Wars and Star Trek against each other.
Right.
Obviously, we know who's winning that war right this second. But like back in 2010, I was like, well, this fight has already been settled by a little thing called the Kingdom Hearts series, and because in Birth by Sleep,
Mark Hamill.
Master Xehanort, yeah, exactly. And guess who dies at the end of Birth by Sleep? Not Spock. So,
Ericus is a sly fox, though. Do you think he meant to do that? Do you think he meant to like bip himself into Terra, or it sort of accidentally happened?
well, and like this is one thing of like, what does death look like in Kingdom Hearts? Because
Right.
Ericus definitely died, but he looked exactly the same that Sora did when he just released his heart. But Ericus's heart went into Sora. I mean, not Sora, Terra. But he died directly after being released from Terra's heart. Is like the two little orbs floating up into the heaven beam. Is that what death looks like? And that's death period. And like everything else is just like an in between step.
Yeah, it's like, is the final death like, okay, your heart floats up, joins Kingdom Hearts, and then you are officially considered dead. Like, you didn't go to the final world, you just went straight to Kingdom Hearts. And then there's no way to bring you back at that point. Like, you've moved, it's almost like an afterlife, right? Like, until you've moved on past that point, you can potentially come back.
Yeah.
But, because I guess, like his heart would have gone and flowed up, but it went into Terra's body, and then I guess, in the end of 3D, it sort of releases itself and continues on its journey that it sort of started the moment it was struck by that fireball. Like, yeah, it's rough. But Aerith's line in Remind really bothers me. The way she's like, well, we still remember him, so he must still be with us. I don't know if that's like a translation thing or what, but I almost...
I think, isn't that just like going, like a callback to when everybody forgot
Chain
him?
of memories, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've always interpreted that as. So it's like it's not like, oh, he's not like permanently gone or like erased from our memories. So
but yeah,
he's like,
wouldn't that be what she said then?
But,
like he's just the way she says he's still with us. I'm like, what do you,
right.
What do you
'Cause,
mean
like, you
by
would still
that?
remember somebody who died.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, do you just forget about
Like-
everyone that's ever, like, they go to Kingdom Hearts and you go, well, they took all the memories of them with us, so...
Well, bye, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was nice knowing you.
Yeah. I didn't quite get that line of, like, yeah, I guess...
What does she say in Japanese?
That's
Like,
exactly,
the direct
yeah.
translation. Yeah.
That's a great question.
And that's one of the things. Sometimes you do have to go to those like direct translations.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, like Xehanort's ending was part of the reason the ending kind of felt a bit off for a lot of people was that, and I think it's partially due to the translation, but Xehanort's motivation somewhat seemed to change, and I think that's almost down to the line being like pure and bright when he's describing the world that he wants to create.
Yeah.
Or if it was like pure and blank, like a blank slate, or pure and like empty, like a blank slate is the best way to describe it. Like he wanted to literally reset to zero, which was the motivation the entire time. I just think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way when he's like pure and bright, implying the existence of like light filled and like unbesmirched by darkness. Like I think that's where people were like, that doesn't sit quite right.
Or
with
maybe
me.
it's like just idyllic for him, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he just wanted like complete neutrality. I don't think he was like willing to. Yeah. Like, there's too much light here. The only way to fight it is with darkness, so I'm going to go full darkness to restore his sense of balance. Which I can vibe with that. I think, even though he murders a lot of children to get there, I guess.
Yeah. He's very driven.
Yeah. And if he'd probably just like asked Ericus nicely rather than like, I'm going to start a Keyblade war, you coming? then he might have got a better result, and then immediately turns around and scars
Yeah.
Ericus when Ericus is like, no. But
But Ericus is very into his ways. So
for sure, for
I
sure,
want to see how when like Ericus puts that stick up his butt in Dark
something
Road.
bad's gonna happen for sure, and like
Yeah.
convince him that darkness is evil, evil, bad, bad. I'm never, ever, ever, ever gonna even
Ever.
consider anything apart from like,
Yeah.
no, it must be eradicated at all costs.
Yeah.
Because that's what's confused the hell out of me. When the very first promotional image for Dark Road showed Ericus about to use an attack, like he was about to use Dark Break, and I was like,
Ooh.
holy shit,
Yeah.
what? Like we're gonna see. Well, 'cause even right now, we don't actually see the party members doing anything apart from either buffing or doing a regular Keyblade swipe. Like one of them casts magic. Um,
Yeah.
but I was like, oh wow, are they implying that like Ericus is going to use darkness at that time? Like he wasn't against it. Oh, something bad must have happened. Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I think that was just a mistake, and they, I don't know.
They snatched that back real quick.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Who died? Who are the four gravestones? What's
right.
going on? Where am I?
Yeah, I wonder if like I feel like whoever Luxu originally possessed is going to be one of them. I still like the idea of like Ver, whatever her name is, being Kairi's grandmother, only because she's dressed in the
Yeah.
same colors, and of course no one ever changes fashion style over 80 plus years in Kingdom Hearts
Exactly.
logic.
Hey, if it's a good look, it's a good look.
They stick with it, work with what works. There was that, like the whole like Ven refusing darkness scene in Birth by Sleep, where he's like trying to draw, and Xehanort's trying to draw it out of him. I was sort of reading that now,
Yeah.
thinking that like, okay, let's say Ven has some memories or some repressed memories of at one point in my life I was possessed by darkness and I murdered a girl. Like, would that be
Yeah.
why he's like trying so hard to resist, like giving into any sort of darkness?
That would be good. Yeah. Any kind of like residual feeling.
Yeah.
But so the only thing that gets me like really, really nervous about like darkness is that, of course, like then the darkness, whatever this concept is of like darkness, the person who possessed Ven,
Mm-hmm.
that's then gotta at some point evolve into Vanitas, right? But I
Yes.
don't want Vanitas to then be darkness because like Vanitas is edgy. He's a POS, but he's not a murderer, you know? So I don't want him to be darkness either. But that's like what's going to happen, isn't it?
I, okay. The way I read Vanitas is that he's, if Xehanort's like, I'm going to extract every single bit of darkness out of you, Van, then there's
Yeah.
whatever like literally creature of darkness was harboring within him, plus Ven's own natural darkness, and then that hybrid
Yeah.
is Vanitas. So I guess whatever like,
Ugh.
I don't know, like darkness seemed to kill without even flinching. But like Vanitas always took the
Yeah.
time to like, okay, I'm going to position the Keyblade just right before I guess, drive it down and stab you, Aqua. And he had the chance to learn from his mistakes and then didn't do it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, is that hesitation or is that just like, again, that's the whole stupid thing of like, was he even trying to kill her or did he need her to rock up, a
Yeah.
day later at
Or
the
was-
Keyblade Graveyard
yeah.
anyway? It's all silly.
Or maybe he was trying to get Ven to wake up too.
Exactly,
Maybe that's
yeah.
what he was pushing for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just in his own little gremlin way.
I guess like how I know for a lot of people like it's either Everglow or me that is like their source of the Union Cross story.
Yeah.
How invested in it are you? I guess I've always read it as like it's probably hard to get invested if you aren't literally playing it yourself. So is it sort of like
I don't know.
keep an eye on it or
I do keep an eye on it. I can't I haven't been able to like get invested with like the actual gameplay of it, but I do like watch um uh I do watch Everglow's translations
Yeah.
when they first come out. Um
yeah, they're really
and
good.
I do keep up with them. Yeah. I keep up with them, but like I don't know. It doesn't the story doesn't click with me. I don't think like there are lots of people who like really really love the story of Union Cross, but like I don't know. I just can't get into it 100%. I don't know. I feel like it's so slow moving that like I kind of just want to tell them like, all right, so what's the point? what's going on, you
Yeah.
could summarize this in like less than 10 minutes.
Well, I tried to summarize it once. It took a while. But
Yeah, I mean,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
no, no,
Um,
no, no. And I feel like I kind of think a bit more in like bigger bullet points because like I said this
yeah,
in
for
my
sure.
recent video, but like I feel like two things have happened in Union Cross, and it's like, but so okay, so what story are you trying to tell? Uh, like get to the point already.
Yeah, I'm writing like a
Sorry, I kind of
recap script, and there's literally one
yeah,
third of a page dedicated to Union Cross compared to like a page and a half of Birth by Sleep so far. So like it's yeah, broad strokes. There's
yeah,
really not that much going on that is ultra important to the grand scheme of things. It's like
yeah.
Foretellers got
That's a
betrayed.
shame.
Strelitzia was going to be a Union leader or whatever, but she got assassinated. Um,
Yeah,
Bad juju happening. Time travel. So
all that.
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
uh,
And again, to take 5 years to tell that story is pretty egregious.
yeah. Ugh.
I think I'm happy that it exists only because it's like before when there'd be a Kingdom Hearts drought, there would be a drought. Like you wouldn't get a new
Oh
ounce of
yeah,
story
nothing.
for
Absolute
potentially years at a
zero.
time. Like the wait between
Yeah,
3D and 3, I guess. Well, I guess 0.2. Um,
yeah.
when you had nothing but like no, I mean I love the remasters to death. Like I'm so glad that they exist, but when that was all we
Oh yeah.
got in a year was a remaster, and it didn't push the story
Mhm.
forward at all. You were just like, oh my god, just give me anything, any scraps you could take. And I think that's why like people started
Yeah.
gravitating towards Union Cross, being like, okay, a little bit of sustenance, like we can survive on this until the next until the next meal comes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think that's what I
It,
did, and
it
then just sort of like now that I'm so far down the rabbit hole, I gotta see it through to
yeah.
the end. Like I will be legitimately happy when it's done. Be like, all right, I can finally close the book on this. It would just it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
free.
I think a lot of people feel that way. Like, all right, I'm here, I'm along for the ride, but what was the point?
Yeah. But at the same time, I'll be
Yeah.
sad to see it go. Like I said, just having every single month the
Yeah.
potential for more story is
Yeah.
kind of cool in a way. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do really appreciate that part of like keeping the brand alive
right,
kind of thing.
right.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know that I need a remake. Everyone's like, oh, it'd be so good as an MMO. I'm like, nah, I
Mhm.
don't know that there's enough
Yeah.
here to sustain that. If I'm honest,
Yeah. They should, if they were gonna do anything, they should probably make like even like a short movie.
definitely,
Like
definitely.
it doesn't need to be one of those 3 hour ones. You could probably pull it off in like a like 90-minute film. Probably, right? If like the pacing was good enough, you could probably do it in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I almost wonder if like if they were gonna do something like that, you tell it from Strelitzi's point of view, um,
Yeah.
or like Ephemer's point of view or something, where he's got basically an eye on everything
Yeah.
important that happens. Maybe Skulls, because they seem to have like between if like assuming people will watch back cover and get that first glimpse of Ephemer. You tell his story from
Yeah.
Skull's point of view, and she sees
Mhm.
almost everything important that's going to happen. Um,
Yeah.
except I guess the Strelitzia
She
stuff. I
yeah.
don't know. At some point, you work in that, or maybe you do like the foretellers thing that happened in back cover, where you sort of spend 5 minutes with each of them, and you kind of get the bullet
Yeah.
point notes of like, okay, here's all the union leaders and the important things that happen
Yeah.
for each of them, plus the scenes where they're
Oh, and that would
together.
be great. Yeah, if you did like and like so you went through all of their like different episodes
Yep.
and then you get to like Ven's definitely gonna be the last one because that's like when Strelitzia actually gets murdered. But you show little bits and pieces of like her story throughout everybody else's episode.
Yeah.
And then it finally like wraps it all with a bow and Ven.
I want, yeah, 100%. I just sort of wonder how. Well, I figure the Union Cross story would end when they go through time. I figure that's got to be
Right? Gotta
how.
be.
Like, I mean, what else is left of that? Well, we're gonna lose like half the cast, but I guess you can still muck around a bit with getting Scala established. Like, I could see that being a thing.
Yeah,
Even though
I
they kind
guess.
of already told us what's gonna happen at this point. It's like I'm assuming
Yeah.
Brain is like Ericus's great 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 granddaddy or whatever, and so
Yeah.
he'll be like, all right, I'm coming over. Daybreak Town. Oh no, Daybreak Town's on the water. Let's build a city on top of it, and then they do.
Yeah.
And scene. Like, I don't know what else we really need to
Mhm.
see there, but I'm sure Nomura will make something up
Yeah. Yeah.
that we just
So
had to
then
see.
maybe we would get to see like Brain transform Daybreak Town into Scala, and then we'll probably get to see then Ericus transform Scala into the Land of Departure, right?
You think that's what happens?
That might be.
That's a good
I
question.
cause right? Because I mean that would be poetic for like the two and the familial bond between them to like do the switching over to the new world
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. Yeah. And then maybe that's how they both end, and they both like end at the same time or something.
Right. Yeah, it's possible. I just wonder, like,
Yeah.
does that effectively mean that their entire like Keyblade wielder society basically breaks down as a result of what happens in Dark Road? Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dark Road's still so weird to me because like you've got this huge city, but they're like, oh yeah, people only live on this one tiny little part of it. So
Yeah.
like, what happened then? Does something bad already happen to this place, or like,
Or is it just like remnants of Daybreak Town where everybody died there and like oh I don't know, the world needed to reform itself with room for all of the lost souls that are there.
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Or it could just be like a really nice, creepy visual to have all those empty islands.
yeah, I guess. I just feel like functionally, I'm
Yeah.
considering it from the literal sense of like they literally brick and mortar built the place rather than like did a Keyblade spell
Oh,
and it all happened. Only because like you can see the clock tower being
okay.
underneath, like the water, right? Like
Hmm.
if the Daybreak Town,
Yeah.
and it's like frozen in time. So I almost wonder if they did some
Yeah.
sort of mumbo jumbo and
Mm.
if that was the
I,
case, then like why? And again, that's only how I'm reading it, but like why would they build extra islands that people don't use? If, but again, I could be way off
mhm.
the mark there.
It could be another like metatextual thing about like oh all of those different islands are like everybody's individual playthroughs. So it's
Sure.
like oh that's your universe coming in here and your universe coming in here.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very Bioshocky.
yeah,
Yeah, it's very true.
yeah. There are many worlds,
What do they share?
but they all share the same sky.
Whew. Kingdom Hearts, eh?
It's the best. It's frustrating, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Definitely. No, the mystery is 100% part of the fun. Like, if they told
Yeah.
us everything that was going to happen, I think this series wouldn't have lasted this long. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, then that happened, then that happened, then that
Hmm.
happened. It'd be like, oh yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't need to solve this mystery. Okay, thank you, I got it.
Yeah.
But no, it's 100% part of the charm that there's this wacky,
Yeah.
convoluted narrative running through the entire thing that is just
Completely
begging to be
unpredictable.
solved.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I'm excited to see where Melody Memory goes, and I guess
Yeah.
what we
Don't
so
have much longer to wait.
no, we really don't, we really don't. I think we're what 50, gotta be less than 55 days out, surely,
Oof.
somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, memories, exploring, final world. Do you reckon we'll see the Master's face? Do you reckon that person pulling the cloak back in the trailer is, or A, is the Master, and B, we're actually going to see the mush?
I think he but there's also like the huge possibility that he is just like maybe like a
An
memory
illusion, some
Xehanort or
sort of,
something.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go ahead though and put my bets down. I want to see the Master's face. I think he will be the Master's. And you know what? I want the Master of Masters to be like this beautiful, like Adonis kind of guy with like long flowing gold hair. And so, okay, because there was, I think I read at some point throughout the development of Kingdom Hearts 1, Ansem Seeker of Darkness was supposed to have golden hair and not silver.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think I read that somewhere. So I feel like it would be cool to like go from oh Xehanort, the silver medal villain, graduating up to the gold medal villain.
Yeah,
then,
true. Yeah, okay, yeah.
and then so yes, so then we see this like golden hair Adonis for like a couple days, but then that like shell gets ripped open and we have some kind of eldritch horror
Yes.
monster who's
Beautiful.
like
Yeah.
the real master of master's form.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I want to see.
I keep picturing him as this like faceless, not even humanoid thing, like at his real appearance. I just think we're dealing with concepts so much bigger than like humans at this point. That
Yeah. Well, and somebody was just saying the other day that like, oh, if you open Kingdom Hearts, you become something like more than human. So, and I think we are assuming that like during the very, very first Keyblade War, the one that the Master of Masters was talking about with Luxu in that computer room,
right.
um, so we're assuming that like he opened Kingdom Hearts way back then, and like he reset the world then. So he is like he's not human.
And if he was not anymore, because he's
Yeah,
been reborn
yeah.
as this higher being, whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah,
The creator of this world.
it's
Yeah.
a cool take for sure. And it would sort of explain a lot of the things he's been able to get away with so far. Like,
Yeah.
I just,
Popping in and out of the timeline whenever he wants,
yeah.
disappearing without a trace.
What's your take
Yeah.
on the black box, the whole situation there?
Um, I think that probably holds some part of the Master of Masters,
Mm-hmm.
like either his heart or like his body.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now he's just like a temporal form, and he needs that to. But then, because I was about to say like he needs the box to come back to like the actual Kingdom Hearts universe, but like he was there during Xehanort's little travel
Yeah.
there, so that
Yeah.
doesn't.
That was my read on it forever
Anyway,
as well. And then it's like, oh shit, caveat, he came back once. He came back once. It's like, oh god damn it, that really throws a
yeah,
wrench into all these works.
yeah. Unless that was like some kind of projection, like he wasn't fully there or whatever.
Right. But I feel like that's such an important moment in the timeline that he wanted to have happen. Like he needed to make sure that Xehanort went down this dark road, if you will,
Yeah.
uh, to ensure that he fights this Keyblade War, whatever, to make everything else happen. So like maybe he couldn't trust
Yeah.
Luxu to do it himself, or maybe he couldn't possibly
Maybe.
bear the thought of not. Like maybe Luxu was occupied in some other sense. Who knows? Like I don't know.
Or maybe that was Luxu doing an impression of the Master of
It's
Masters.
possible, right?
And that's why maybe was he like acting like maybe a tad too goofy in that scene? Where it was like, oh, that's just like Luxu's impression of him, where it's like, oh, I'm my master and I'm such a goofy and wacky guy. I can't ever take my coat off, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that could work if, like, okay, so let's say Luxu wants to body hop, but he literally can't find an appropriate vessel. And he's like, well, hey, the
Yeah.
master's body is just chilling in this box. Like, what if I just
Oh,
I just
yeah.
borrowed it real quick? Like, jumped
Yeah.
into it. Because he would get the voice, right? He would get the master's voice at that point, if he's in the body.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then does his little spiel to Xehanort, says the
Mhm.
name, and that's why he says, he actually says, I'm Luxu, whatever. He doesn't, like, we
Yeah.
don't hear the name, but it's because it's not what we think it is. And then he finds another vessel,
Oh, yeah.
jumps back out of the master's body. It's like, oh, just keeping it warm for you. And then chucks it back in
Yeah.
the box. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be, right?
That would work. We've cracked it, the code.
We
It's
figured it
ours.
out. It's done. We solved it.
Yeah.
Solved Kingdom Hearts. We'll close the book, send it to Nomura, say, all right, what else you got for me? Next.
Can't get past these big old brains over here.
Exactly. But yeah, so then why? I guess at some point he loses it, right? My thing was that maybe he like
Fox. Yeah.
Xigbar or Luxu intentionally like made himself forget that memory just in case like he's like, okay, well Xehanort's about to invade my heart. Worst case scenario, he takes control and then has access to like all my memories and then goes, hang on a minute, you're actually a dude called Luxu. What's this black box? Oh, I know where it is, blah 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 blah. So like what if
Yeah.
he literally forcibly removed the memory from himself and then went, oh crap, and now I need to go find it. Luxord, can you have a look for me?
Yeah. Hmm.
Or because
That's
Luxor
a,
basically guesses it. Luxor's like, you know that now Maleficent's after it, and you basically need to make sure you get it first. So,
yeah.
because I'm assuming
Mm.
Darkness sends Maleficent and gang after the box in the future. They're like, hey, when you get back, do me a favor.
Yeah. Find that box.
Go track
Yeah.
this thing down. And Maleficent's like too stubborn for the first half of the game to even believe it's like can't literally be found. And then finally at the end, she's like, all right, I guess he was right. It doesn't exist
Yeah.
yet. We gotta wait until the big battle happens, and then it'll show up. Ah, yeah, good times. There's so many, again, like for the whatever how many entries we're in at this point, there are still a crap ton of mysteries still to go. But
Yeah.
yeah,
One question gets answered, 3 more pops up.
literally, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's really part of the charm, I think. Fuels
Yeah.
the fires for years to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I guess that's why I wanted to get your take on some of these things, and yeah,
Yeah.
I think we did. I think we solved it. I think we solved every single question we ever had. Don't even need to play Melody Memory now. We know what's going to happen. So
Yeah. Don't even need to play Kingdom Hearts 4.
no, we did it. We did it already.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it was. Thank you so much for having me. This is so very fun and so very sweet of you to do.
no, not at all. No, I really enjoyed the chat. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess we could maybe do this again, like either if you're up for it,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
before Melody Memory, or maybe right after, just to kind of get your read on how things have gone. But
Oh yeah. That would be super fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll pencil it in. But yeah, no, again, thank you so much for joining me. And if you guys have made it this far,
Yeah.
you're still listening, then I really appreciate that as well. And by all means, if you've enjoyed this chat at all, feel free to subscribe to both Aeba and myself, and check out Abe's catalog. Like, there's some really fantastic videos on there. Just sort of like, it's like I guess a loving critique of Kingdom Hearts 3 is what drew me towards really appreciating it. Like, because obviously as a fan,
Yeah.
you want the best for it.
Yeah, of course. I only make my critiques out of love and
Yeah.
wanting for the series to improve.
Yeah, and that really does shine through, which, like, the effort that you put in, like I didn't expect, I watched a few videos, and then, like, I watched a couple afterwards with the costume switches, and I was like, oh my god, there's so much effort, like,
Mm.
I'm lucky if I, like, even, like, flick my hair to one side before I flick the camera on and, and start waffling away, so, yeah, just a tremendous amount of production value, like, really good effort into all the topics that she covers, and honestly, deserves all the views in the world, so, yeah, thank you again so much for joining me.
No. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just thanks.
Alrighty, and with that, I guess we'll leave you there, and hopefully, if this one does well, maybe we'll do another one. So, alright, I'll see you guys next
Yeah.
time. All the best.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.